Hello, fellow duelists. This is Shadow of the Moon, and welcome to an updated deck profile of my Gimmick Puppet FTK Blackwing deck for April of 2025. So, like I said in the post that I had put up, I'm going to be moving forward. I'm going to be exploring and showcasing different aspects and different variants of Blackwing decks, just to show you that there are so many ways to play this deck. It is a lot of fun, and this deck is actually, this variant is no exception. This is going to be the Gimmick Puppet FTK. So this, essentially what you're going to be doing with this deck is the object is to burn your opponent for an FTK on turn 0. And it's easier than it actually sounds, trust me. It's not difficult to do this. And as long as you have what you need, it is not a problem. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get on into the deck profile. So the first thing I'm going to be showing you, obviously, is Simoon. These are all standard. Simoon's always standard in the deck. I am not playing Gale or Blackwing Armor Master in this build. I'm just going to try to go strictly, just a regular variant, no extra added cards or any cards, that based off of my preference. This is just a standard version of it. 3 Sudris, 3 Vatas, and 3 Shamals. These are all standard one-ofs, or all standards, 3 copies of in the deck. You always have to play these. In my opinion, if you wanted to knock one of these down, you could and add hand traps. Also, this deck has 13 hand traps in here. If you wanted to add more, you could always cut a Shamal. You could always cut a Black Feather Whirlwind that I have and add 2 more of those and make it an even 15. You can always play around with whatever suits you the best, but I'm just using this as kind of like a starting point. And then for the one-ofs, you got Zonda, Zephyros the Elite, Hammerton, Sharnga, and Chinook. And then rounding out is the Honorary Blackwing Assault Synchron, which actually still does help because you are trying to go into level 6s in this deck. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the spells and traps. So, 2 Black Whirlwinds, and then 2 Black Feather Whirlwinds. Now, like I said before, if you wanted to cut one of these, you could cut this and only use this package, and it would work just as well. I'm just using these 2 because I like being able to have 2 and 2, since I am playing 3 Shamals in this deck. And then for the one-ups, we got 3 Small World. This is standard. This is actually a very good card in this build. This is going to help you get into your combo pieces. And you're going to be using Assault Synchron as a bridge. And then you've got Prod of Prosperity. This is a really good one-up to kind of dig into your deck and get what you need. Either 3 or 6 cards. And then you've got, for the other one, you've got your rank up Baron's Force. There's another spell card that you can use if you want to use that. I'm just using this one because there's still really nothing wrong with it. And I didn't want to go get the other one because, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing, almost, in my opinion. So you've got your Baron's Force. This is what you're going to use to rank up your Gimmick Puppet into the CXYZ Gimmick Puppet Fantastics. Alright, and then we're going to round it out with Twin Shadow. This could be Blackbird Clothes, but I'm using Twin Shadow since I like to go for that extra, a special summon if I actually need it on my turn. So that's going to be it for the actual main deck. Now we're going to go into the hand trap section, and this is going to be somewhat, they're not as many. Now keep in mind also, hand traps vary from format to format. If you have an Ash or you have an Imperm, you can feel free to add that in. I'm just showing you what I had lying around and what was already in the deck. You've got 3 Ghost Ogres, 3 Droll and Lockbirds, 3 Effect Veilers, and then 3 of the Bestials, Magna Hut, Druid Swarm, and Baldrake. So these are all going to be the standard hand traps. Like I said, if you wanted to add Ash and Imperm and you had that, you totally could, because the Blue Eye Structure deck that came out does include Imperm and does include Effect Veiler and does include Ash Blossom. But I'm just showing you what I had lying around. Alright, now we're moving on to the extra deck. So the extra deck, you've got 3 copies of the Blackwing Assault Dragon. You only need 1 for the combo, and it's actually kind of funny. Alright, and then you've got 2 copies of Blackwing Dragon. You've got 1 copy of the Full Armor Master. 1 copy of Notham the Starlight, which actually does a lot more in this build, because you're going to be activating the effect to burn 800 and lower your opponent's monster's attack by 800, meaning you're going to lower their Beazle. Beazle effect will activate, increase its attack, and then when it activates an effect, Blackwing Assault Dragon will activate its effect and will burn 700, and it will end up being a continuous loop. And then we've got 1 Boreas Storm the Wicked Wind, 1 Dispatter, 1 Chaos Angel, one Beazle of the Diabolic Dragons. This card is part of the gimmick, obviously, of the deck. Obviously, haha, Gimmick Puppet. So you're going to use this, and this is going to be summoned on your opponent's side of the field in defense position. You're going to activate Notham's Effect. Notham's Effect is going to target when it gets summoned to trigger this to make it lose 800 attack. This card cannot... This card, when it's targeted, this card will gain attack, so it's going to gain that attack. And then in response, you're going to have Blackwing, the Assault Dragon, burn, like I said before, the 700, so it ends up becoming a continuous loop back and forth. And even if you're not able to pull that off, as soon as your opponent activates a monster effect, you can play the Assault Dragon's effect, and Assault Dragon will burn for 700, which will then target this. And this card will be targeted. Alright, and then we've got, for the last one, Draco the Berserker. And then for the two Gimmick Puppets, we've got Fantastics and XYZ Fantastics. You're going to be using this first with 2 level 8s, and then you're going to be using the rank up spell to rank up into this. Activate this effect. This is going to summon a monster to your opponent's side of the field, and that is how you're going to go for the FTK. And then lastly, I just have Wystrix in here in case your opponent negates like Sudri or something, and you can still go into your play by summoning Shamal, and then using Shamal and Hammerton to go into Notham. Notham will then allow you to have an additional summon. If you have Shamal in your graveyard, you can add Sudri back to your hand. Sudri will normal summon itself again, and then you'll get another monster. So it does work all around for that. Alright, so that's going to be it for the deck profile. I know this was short, just wanted to do a quick update one for this one. This deck is a lot of fun if you like the whole FTK version and you're wanting to play something other than Kali Yuga. This is actually another good alternative. I do plan on having some more different Blackwing variants coming very, very soon. I have a Blackwing Black Garden deck that I'm going to be showcasing next. I'm also going to be having the Fiendsmith Blackwings, which I'm going to do the best I can with that. Fiendsmith is a very expensive deck, so especially with the actual Fiendsmith Engraver. Everything else is cheap. Fiendsmith Engraver is the one that costs a little bit of money. And then hopefully I'll be able to do a Blackwing Horus deck profile for you, as well as my pure Blackwing deck that I always post up, and as pure as also with the Kali Yuga build that I always post up. So, alright, thank you guys so much for watching, and with that, see you guys next time. Later.